He's got such a complexity in who he is and his identity and his loss of identity. Can you tell us more about how interesting it is for characters of this nature?
Well, initially it was a question for Mr. Scorsese. There are two main characters. There's Matt Damon's character, who's a mole for Costello, Jack Nicholson's mob syndicate, and he informs Nicholson through the police department what goes on. And I play a guy that comes from a mob past that then goes undercover to take down Nicholson's gang. So initially I would have played either role because they're both interesting. They're like two sides of the same coin, you know. They're it's like the duality of one man. What choices does one man make that affects their life? And Scorsese ultimately wanted me to play this one, so I was happy to do so. The hardest part was, what do I convey to the audience if I'm surrounded by killers all the time and I have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not? You know, I didn't initially know how to play it, but it really helped in scenes when Nicholson's holding a gun to your face and making you beg for your life. The character you come up with dialogue, you know, you come up with things to say to survive. So that was one of the first scenes that I had, and it really helped me with discovering the character and and the panic attacks that he had and the fear for his life on a constant basis.
Do you agree it's the kind of movie that needs a high level of acting skill because it's a difficult film and it has to be a very good ensemble?
Well, I think any actor that comes onto, especially a cast like this, there's a little bit of a competitive nature, but there's also the feeling that, you know, you have to bring your A game. There's so many great actors around you. Not only that, you're making a Martin Scorsese picture, so there's just a higher level of intensity there with everyone. And it's not just the actors, it's everyone. Everyone's at the top of their game. No one wants to mess up. Everyone is constantly focused on what they're doing on sets like these. They're not really fun-loving sets. They're really, you know, filled with intensity.
Well, every time I see Martin Scorsese, I think of a French expression that exists in every language, but it's petit mais costaud, which means looks small but has such a big potential. Is that a good way to describe him?
I would, because I think that the main crux of most of his movies are really character-based, like details, you know what I mean? He's so honest in conveying even the smallest minutia of smaller characters in the movie. He loves developing characters, even if they're insane, even if, you know, you have no way to relate to them. He wants to portray them as honest, and that's like that's the basis of his films. You know, there's no film that he does that doesn't have a powerful character development like that. And I almost think the story, the plot becomes secondary to the journey of the characters in the movie.
Well, you know, it helps you get the best performance you can, I think, because with a director like that, there's more trust, there's more, you know, an ability to open as an actor. Do you agree?
Well, yes. There's a feeling from everyone on set that you could take whatever chances you want because you know you have that sort of high standard at the end of the day to answer to, and he's not going to put anything in the movie that he feels is bad for you as an actor, is bad for the film, or make you look terrible. So you're trusting his taste, and his taste includes, you know, 100 years of film knowledge and you know, masterpieces under his belt, and you know, he's that high standard that you answer to at the end of the day. So you ultimately feel you're in great hands. You know, it frees you up. It really does.
No, absolutely. Well, since The Departed and the journalists that have seen it, I have heard a couple of times you being quoted as the new De Niro for Scorsese. How do you feel about that?
All I know is I'm getting to work with my favorite director, a master filmmaker, and for me to even comment on that is hard because that is the epitome of an actor-director relationship in De Niro and Scorsese that I could never repeat, and I wouldn't try to repeat because it doesn't get any better than that. They've made some of the most memorable films of all time together. I'm just happy as a young actor to fulfill something that I've wanted to do since I first started at 16, and that was to be in a movie with him as the director. And if I could be fortunate enough to do more, that would be great. But I'm learning in the process, and I'm having a great time. But I can't comment on that relationship.